Hey, Teddy here. Today I not only have some big news I have to give out, but also I've got some major controversies I personally have to address. Okay. Now, first off, let's start off with the news, just like as always, shall we? Anyways, you guys may be wondering what's been going on with casual reviews with bearRimshot right now. Well, whether you guys believe it or not, I'm currently in the second quarter of editing. I'm I'm not joking when I say that, people. This is all true for a fact. And speaking of which, I'm gonna do even more bigger news regarding the casual reviews with bearRimshot. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you may seem to wonder whether or not I've got a release date for it yet. Well, if I had one, well, let's just say that I expect it to be released around the same time as my high school graduation. Well, let's just say it's going to be more of a late high school graduation gift, if you will. Considering of how that there are other things, considering of how that there are other things going on, so not just on my part, but also on the part of the person who will be helping me with the title card for that episode alone. So, anyways, yeah. So when it comes to the next casual reviews of bearRimshot, expect it to be released sometime this summer, more as like a late high school graduation gift, if you will. One out of two, actually. Maybe you guys may be wondering what's my other graduation gift I'll be doing. Well, the other one that I have that I'll likely be able to release on the same day as my high school graduation will be more of a Manic Expression exclusive, if you will. Why Manic Expression exclusive, you may ask? Well, let's just say, if you're a user or a contributor on Manic Expression, not only can you upload videos onto that site, but also blogs as well. And plus, there have been other users on Manic Expression who apparently have been uploading exclusive content on Manic Expression. Like, for example, Morgan Ledger, creator of Vaulting, once uploaded a Lost Vaulting episode more as a Manic Expression exclusive, if you will. So yeah, for this Manic Expression exclusive coming up on June 22nd, it will be, in case you're wondering what I got for this one Manic Expression exclusive, let's just say it will be a pleasant surprise to anyone who may be a part of either the Animat fan club and the official Mr. Code and Friends fan club. And no, people, it's not going to be another threat. It'll be more of an apology, if I will. More as an apology, if you will. And yes, whatever I'm going to say when I do apologize for what I did wrong back in January, I do mean it for what I'm about to say on that same day. Even if I do take certain things or remember to say them, which I'm not going to be pointing fingers as accusations in a way. So anyways, you guys may be wondering what other projects do I have in mind. Well, coming soon next weekend, depending on how much video watching I get done, as well as depending on whether or not, depending on when I can go home finally. There is a possibility that sometime that after this update vlog, as I'm recording this, is done, the next video I'll be uploading after this will likely be a special vlog sharing my thoughts on the 4th annual Mr. Code Contributor Awards. And then, not only that, but also after I'm done vlogging my thoughts on the 4th annual Mr. Code Contributor Awards, not only can I do some video watching for when I do get to vlog the 5th annual Mystical Contributor Awards, but also I'll also be vlogging my thoughts at E3. And in case if you're all wondering whether or not I will ever vlog my thoughts on D23 this year, since D23 Expo will be happening this year, yes. Yes, I will be, actually. You guys may be wondering, why didn't I do a D23 Expo vlog last year? Even if I did one back in 2015. Well, last year there was no D23 Expo. At least it wasn't as majorly big as what 2015 have to offer, which is the same reason why you guys did not get to see me do a special vlog sharing my thoughts on Star Wars Celebration last year. But at least you guys got one this year, I have to say. And you guys may be wondering, and also I do have some much bigger news I must tell you guys. Did I ever tell any of you people about how that when I'm done making casual reviews of bearRimshot was a public apology, I'll be doing not one, but two other kinds of projects, both of which, like with vlogging, it's all meant to be more on the side. I'm talking, of course, like parody videos and video mixtapes. So anyways, when I'm done making casual reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology, once I already got into the making of, as I do get into the making of casual reviews with bearRimshot, the top 11 dumbest Kingdom Hearts moments, when I'm like on breaks and doing the show, let's say with the case of working on my first ever countdown for the show being the top 11 dumbest Kingdom Hearts moments, as well as when I don't have any vlogging I personally have to do at the moment, like right now, for example, I will be doing parody videos and mixtapes on the side as well. However, it will only be when, like, let's just say, when in the case of when I'm working on casual reviews with bearRimshot, the top 11 dumbest Kingdom Hearts moments, it'll be with the three following cases. The first one being, of course, when I'm stuck with my Disney movie watching when I'm at it, when I'm in the middle of doing it, as well as when I'm like home on the weekend, like here at home on the weekend, when I'm not at the group home. For those who don't know, and yes, people, I'm not a residential. For those who don't know, and yes, people, you've heard that right. I'm no longer at residential school, thankfully. I'm now living in a group home or an independent living, if you will. Yeah, you've heard that right. Anyways, when I'm not at my when I'm like home with my parents while I'm still playing the Kingdom Hearts games, as well as again when I did manage to pass script writing for that episode, considering of how that I did promise Brian that for episode 4, this is the moment where he will have his turn to not just edit, but also film as well. And when speaking about episode 3, I'll be the one doing the editing. So anyways, you guys may be wondering, what will my first parody video and first mixtape be? Well, for parody video wise, it will be based on a Downfall parody I made on another site a while back last year. And no, people, it's not on Manic Expression, and no, it's not on rowdyc.com. It's on this one website where you can make your own Downfall parodies online. This one I'm talking about, of course, It's called Hitler Discovers Animation Look Back. You guys may be wondering, why would I do a downfall parody poking fun out of Animation Look Back? Well, for those who do watch this show, who do watch Animation Look Back, you guys should all know what the fridge I'm talking about. But for those who don't watch Animation Look Back, in the King Kong segment of Animation Look Back, the best of stop motion, there's a Hitler fact being tossed out, where being that out of Hitler's favorite movies are technically Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and King Kong. Considering the fact of how at the time when both Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and King Kong both first came out, Hitler himself was apparently still alive. Whereas with the Teletubbies, on the other hand, at the time when the Teletubbies first aired on television, Hitler was already dead at that point in real life. Considering of how that, I know a lot of you Disney fans always like to think about of how that, as favorite movies or TV shows go for him, it would be the Teletubbies. Well, technically you're wrong. You're just saying it just because, considering the fact that someone, for some reason, did actually make a downfall parody and they're loving the Teletubbies. Keep in mind that this is a parody we're talking about. And you guys should all know by now that in reality, out of Hitler's favorite movies are technically Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and King Kong. Considering how that both, at the time when both of those two movies first came out, Hitler was already still alive at that time. So much so that before he even eventually came to politics, as we all know to hate today, he did at one point originally get into the art business. And whereas by the time when the Teletubbies first came out, Hitler was already dead at that point. Look, I know, I know a lot of you don't like Hitler. I'm not going to blame you guys. I don't like him either. It's just that, well, for those who don't know, for those who may not realize it, well, you'd be surprised to hear about the fact of how that most of the people on the internet who do make those downfall parodies, also well known as undergangers, they not only despise Hitler, but also they despise Nazis in general, and let alone any kind of racism for that matter. I'm not going to lie when I say that. What I'm saying is true. Like even on the Hitler parody wiki would have told you so that a lot of the undergangers, most of the undergangers that exist, really typically do despise Nazism, or just let alone any kind of racism. Since now that I've already... Anyways, as for what will I be doing for my first ever video mixtape for my YouTube page, well, let's just say it will be one based on a TV show I used to love watching a lot. That I used to watch a lot as a kid back when it was on Toon Disney, simply known as House of Mouse. Now, for those who don't know what House of Mouse is, it's a really good TV show, I have to say. Although I pretty much enjoyed every single TV show that did get to air on Toon Disney, if I had to pick one to watch throughout the rest of my life, it would probably have to be House of Mouse. Considering of how that is apparently what got me into crossovers in the first place. Not just television-wise, but also pop culture in general, alongside with Super Smash Bros. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So yeah, you guys may be wondering how I will handle my mixtapes for House of Mouse. Basically, what I am going to do is tackle almost every single Disney movie that did have at least two or more scenes in throughout the entire show, including the two direct-to-video House of Mouse movies, Mickey's Magical Christmas, Snowden at the House of Mouse, and Mickey's House of Villains. Which in this case, I'm gonna start from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and then go all the way up to Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Even though there is a possibility I may do mixtapes even though I may do some House of Mouse mixtapes featuring the Disney princesses, Disney villains, as well as other Disney crossovers that exist as well, or huge crossovers featuring Disney characters for that matter, like Kingdom Hearts, Epic Mickey, and possibly Disney Infinity, and maybe Epic Battles as well, and possibly Battle of the Groups. So yeah, all news aside, I have something serious I really need to address. In case if you guys haven't noticed, back in this past spring, my former editor AzuchiGuardian, for some reason, did make up some pretty accusations of me regarding to something he personally created himself called Heartless Winter. If you guys do not know what Heartless Winter is, it's something which AzuchiGuardian himself did personally create for himself. Now you guys may be wondering, what are some accusations, why is he made up regarding to Heartless Winter? Now, the first one would be, of course, when he said that I do claim rights to him. Technically, I never said that I would claim rights to Heartless Winter. Now, in case you guys haven't seen my last update vlog I did back in spring, I already made it clear that there are things I do mind him doing, and then of course, there are at least some things that I don't mind him doing. However, that really depends on his situation, depending on what he intends to do. And if you think that I'm really against him making videos, well, all I can say is, think again! Because in reality, I honestly don't have anything against him making reviews, or let alone just videos in general. It's just that, well, the only show that he cannot do, regardless of his circumstances, whether it be done as a continuation, or as a reboot, or even a commentary done without bother asking me for permission, it would be Casual Reviews with bearRimshot. Casual Reviews with bearRimshot, out of all the shows that I've worked on with him, the only show that he cannot do whatsoever would be Casual Reviews with bearRimshot. That show is meant to be more of my personal review show. And I did already make it clear that it's meant to be my own personal review show. Casual Reviews with bearRimshot. Meaning thus, if AzuchiGuardian doesn't want to be part of the Casual Reviews with bearRimshot creative team anymore, that is perfectly fine with me. I have the right to proceed without him all I want to, regardless if he likes it or not. Whereas when speaking about the other shows that exist, those I can tolerate him doing, just as long as he doesn't do anything malicious against me. I mean, if he was gonna do reviews, he'd be better off doing more of either Codename Altair, Codename Vega, or Codename Deneb. And here's why. When speaking about a show like Casual Reviews with bearRimshot, it's meant to be a show in which only I have the right to do whatever I want with, regardless if AzuchiGuardian likes it or not. Whereas with the other three shows just named being Codename Vega, Codename Deneb, and Codename Altair, These are all shows in which only AzuchiGuardian has the right to do whatever he wants with, meaning thus, if he wants to proceed those shows without me, that is perfectly fine with me. These are his shows to begin with. The same goes for Honesty Wars. If he wants to continue Honesty Wars without me, more power to him for that. As for what am I going to do if he's going to do anything with Heartless Winter creatively, also more power to him as well. As for what I would do if he had any new projects, well, I don't mind it either. The only show he cannot do is casual reviews with bearRimshot. Yeah, so keep in mind that when it comes to AzuchiGuardian making videos in general, especially when it's a review, there are things that I do mind him doing, and then there are things that I don't mind him doing. However, that can depend on the situation itself alone. And also, another thing AzuchiGuardian also lied about when he said that a script for casual reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology doesn't exist. Technically, it does. Technically, a script for casual reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology has already been written. I bet he's just saying it just because, well, considering of how that at the time when I just started writing the script for that episode, he's already been fired from the editor's chair anyways. And in case of y'all wondering whether or not creative differences played a part in what discouraged me to see AzuchiGuardian again, in all honesty, sadly, yes. Yes, it did. In fact, when I did fire AzuchiGuardian from the editorship for casual reviews with bearRimshot, this is the moment where, unfortunately, Azuchi and I would all, and both apparently just split up from each other, considering of how that he and I both did apparently have our own creative differences. Including, of course, I was more family-oriented in the veins of what you would see coming from the works of Animat, or from what you would see coming from your typical Walt Disney Pictures movie. Whereas, with AzuchiGuardian, on the other hand, he intends to make things more edgy, or making it more adult-oriented, like what you see coming from South Park, or from your typical Touchstone Pictures movie. Not only that, but also whereas I would be more in the entertainment side of things, where AzuchiGuardian, on the other hand, would be more into the business side of things. Not only that, but also as well as of how I was more into the quality side of things, but AzuchiGuardian, on the other hand, appears to be more on the quantity over quality side of things. So anyways, and plus, another good reason why AzuchiGuardian never got to see my script for casual reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology. Well, because that at the time when I just started writing the script, he's already been kicked out of the editor's chair. Of course, we should have already known by now that when I do write scripts for any particular project I do, you should have been aware about the fact of how that I normally don't show scripts publicly. Considering of how that, which is also the same reason why you guys never got to see any of the first two scripts of casual reviews of bearRimshot back when I was in the making of those two episodes respectively, as well as also of how that when you take a look at other filmmakers that exist, I'm not just talking about your typical Walt Disney's, your Steven Spielberg's, or your George Lucas's, but I'm also talking other reviewers in general, including your Morgan Ledgers, your Jaime Toons, your South Jersey Sams, your Toon Wars, or your Animats, or any of those people. They don't show scripts to everybody publicly when they're making a particular project. If they did, it would only be to select people. People whom they did bother legally authorizing to their projects. I know based on how I've always handled when I'm writing a script for a project, especially when it's a new episode of Casual Reviews with bearRimshot, for example, I would only show it towards people who I know I can trust. So anybody who dare keep bother asking me to see my script for Casual Reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology, all I ask you people, especially you AzuchiGuardian, because you haven't been watching me, is please leave me alone, okay? Because this harassment has gone way too far. Okay, Azuch, if you really want to see what I've got for the next Casual Reviews with bearRimshot episode, at least the more official one to be more precise, all I can say is, whether you like it or not, you may have to keep waiting patiently. You may have to wait until it actually comes out. And yes, I know what a nerf herder is. I remember watching a video discussion about that. It's an insult. Well, that's because it's apparently what you get for being very, very disrespectful to me for who I am. And for not accepting the reality when it comes to certain things. Consider how big of a man-child you can be. Well, consider how disrespectful you can easily be to me. You want people to respect you? Why can't you respect them is the thing. Azuch, if you really want to see what I've got for Casual Reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology, all I can say is, you will have to wait until the episode itself actually comes out. And besides, in the words of Yoda, patience you must have. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So yeah. As for another thing I also need to address is this. In case if you're all wondering about whether or not I will ever be and also another good question I know AzuchiGuardian did ask me is this. Because of AzuchiGuardian's statement about this, you guys may be wondering about whether or not I would ever consider including any Heartless Winter characters in epic battles. Well, as AzuchiGuardian said it best, no, don't expect something like that anytime soon. I've got two good reasons why you guys should never expect to see Heartless Winter appear in epic battles. Well, characters-wise, yeah. And no, Azuch, it's nothing to do with licensing issues, as epic battles is meant to be more non-profit. Well, the two good reasons why I would never consider including any Heartless Winter characters in epic battles is, one, this is a radio drama we're talking about, and with a radio drama, you can't recognize a character visually, but only vocally. Because when I do include a character into epic battles, people would have to typically recognize them visually. Whether they know him from a TV show, or a movie, or a video game, or a book, or even a comic book, or whatever. And two, this is fan fiction we're talking about. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against fan fiction, to be honest. It's just that, well, when I feel like including any fictional characters into epic battles, whenever Dante and I both feel like including any fictional characters in epic battles, we typically do more big name. We're talking like as if it were to be a character, as if he or she come from either Disney, or Pixar, or Universal, or DreamWorks, or Nickelodeon, or Warner Brothers, or Aardman, or Sony, or Microsoft, or Nintendo, or Sega, or Namco, or Capcom, or Konami, or Square Enix, or Marvel, or DC, or Dr. Seuss, or even Lucasfilm, or even anything similar to that nature for that matter. More bigger names compared to that. As well as characters from various review shows as well. Even though based on how I handle including reviewers are typically more well established, if you will. And so yeah. One final thing I need to address is this. I know some of you are getting really, really impatient when it comes to regarding to the next casual reviews with bearRimshot. Well, keep in mind, people, that for those who have not seen my 2016 special vlog, I already explained why I've been personally taking too long in making casual reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology. Heck, I even explained it to AzuchiGuardian myself this morning about that. There's been a lot of script writing I personally had to do, a lot of research I personally had to do, and a lot of filming. Though when I did get to do the filming for that episode, not only did that take a lot of beard growing, but also it took a lot. When I did have to do the filming myself, as I did get to film the episode, it took almost all day to film the episode, as well as, of course, there was also a lot of editing I personally had to do myself as well. And for those who don't know, and yes, people, I'm learning how to edit my own videos as well. Which explains why, when I'm done making casual reviews with bearRimshot was a public apology. When I don't have any new episodes of casual reviews with bearRimshot, I personally have to edit myself, nor upload onto my YouTube page, as well as when I don't have anything I have to vlog at the moment. I will be doing some mixtapes and parody videos, mostly on the side, as well as possibly arranging music as well. So yeah, and besides, you ever get the saying, you can't rush art? What's the thing? You can't rush art. Is why I've been taking too long in making the next episode of Casual Reviews with making episode 3 of Casual Reviews with bearRimshot. There's just a lot of things that I personally had to do in making that episode. That's all I have to say to you people. And I hope we all have a great and peaceful summer. And this is Teddy signing out, and now if you guys excuse me, I have a picnic I have to go to today, and also I've got some more editing for the next episode of Casual Reviews with bearRimshot I personally have to do as well. No joke when I say that, people, and no lie, and no lie when I say that either. What I'm saying here is true, whether you like it or not. Bye-bye.